Oh, baby, we're starting soon.
All right. Welcome to the Album Book Club. This week we're reviewing Survive by Stratovarious. This was a suggestion from an Instagram DM we got. So I guess I don't have any background on the band on hand, but
They are from Finland. The band formed in 1984. This album is from 2022. And Carl said something about the Wikipedia page and the members of it.
Yeah, so this is really funny. This band, the member that's in there currently, that has been in the band the longest, started in 1994, which is 10 years after the band started. So there's a member that played with original members, but are no original members in the band. So I guess since it touched in the middle, it's not technically a cover band. But yeah, if that explains it, I don't know, maybe.
fair enough. We'll start off with our top 3 on this album. My top 3 was Before the Fall, Survive, and Glory Days.
My top 3 were Breakaway, Before the Fall, and Voice of Thunder.
My top 3 were Broken, Glory Days, and Survive.
Can you repeat that? You were muted still. I missed your button.
I was muted. He's trying to silence my voice.
Yep.
What a bastard. My top 3 were Broken, Glory Days, and Survive. Well, this time is we just unplugged his mic cord. Yay!
Yeah, can you actually run that one more time?
Sure.
No, I'm just fucking with you. Fuck you.
This guy hates me.
Yep.
All right, my top 3 are Broken, Voice of Thunder, and Firefly.
All right, we'll get into our bottom song. My bottom song was Firefly.
My bottom song is Glory Days.
My bottom song is Voice of Thunder.
My bottom song is Glory Days.
Thank God someone else.
So
fucking
2 of us have it in
agrees.
our top 3, and the other 2 have it as their bottom song.
And the other 2 are right.
2 of us are wrong.
Wonder.
2 of them are wrong.
Yep, you guys are.
I'm Yeah. glad we're in agreement that 2 of us are wrong.
I would just like you guys to know that I retroactively went and downgraded every song on this album by 1 point after I finished it.
Honestly, I don't really blame you.
Dude, hold on. Do you see in my notes?
So many
Yeah.
fucking scribbles.
I literally started at oh yeah, this album's awesome. And then I literally kept marking it out. As the album goes, I keep marking them down a point as it's the same thing.
Yeah, that was my biggest issue with it as a whole, but I mean, we probably should start doing album overall at the beginning.
I mean, objectively, it's not a terrible idea.
Let us know if we should start doing that.
I just saw Connor lock in real time.
Yeah, the head whip was wild.
Are you a fucking robot, dude?
Yeah.
Are you part of the lizard government?
He's a fed, dude. First song
We've
is
seen
titled
that.
Survive. I gave this song a 7.5 out of 10.
I gave this song a 5 out of 10.
I also give the song a 7.5 out of 10.
Give this song a 6.
So, Connor, I feel like we didn't retroactively go back and change our scores.
I didn't change anything.
Neither did I. How I feel about it now is a little bit lesser just because the rest of the album got a little bit tiresome with hearing the same sound over and over again. However, when I first started, I was in Carl's group. Oh, yeah, this is going to be great. This is nice. I liked this.
I had a fun time with this one. I thought it wasn't a bad opener. You know, I thought it was a nice introduction to their sound and what they're gonna sound like for the whole album. Never changes. My only problem, it starts here, it goes throughout the entire album. So I'm bringing it up now. The vocal tracks are very, very flat. In the sense that like they don't change a lot in the actual like emotion of what they're saying. The pitch changes, sure, but there's not enough. There's not really anything that they're conveying through that, or at least I don't feel.
Have you looked up their social media or like? I mean, you saw the videos.
Yeah.
The gentleman singing is quite aged. I don't know how long he has been with the band. I did write down, assuming that this was the original vocalist, said, if you've been doing this for 40 years, I understand the rough mix. And this guy's clearly been singing for some time, so I'm not expecting him to sound like, you know, fucking prime, I don't know, Axl Rose, whoever you want to pick that sounds kind of shitty at the beginning, but it's fine. He's not going to sound like that. But I do expect him to not sound really rough.
Yeah, you can say what you want about the vocals, they can get a pass, but the rest of the song for this one just sounded a little bit empty. And this is not the last time I'm gonna have this note. This and a couple of the songs towards the beginning, maybe they did, maybe my headphones were acting up, but I've been told that mine are more bass boosted. But I didn't hear a bass for like at least half of this song and half of a different song. So it wasn't there.
This song I did have to write down that the bass guitar was lost in the mix. I think it's just because you had that basic power metal 16th notes driving one note. It's that, or there was just no fucking bass guitar because it's a metal album. And
there's one song, I think it's the third song on this album. The first minute and a half to 2 minutes, there was no bass, and I can 100% lock that in, but we'll get to it then when we get there. But yeah, this song, I like it. It stands out on this album, but not in this genre was the problem.
Yeah, this is holy shit, I sound like dick. Anyway, let me fix that. Oh, there we go. We're good. So this is just fucking Euro metal, man. It's just Euro power metal. It's gonna sound like Sabaton. It's gonna sound like Rammstein, and whoever the fuck else I can't think of, because there's 80 bajillion Euro metal bands.
Yeah, so you didn't bring it up, but I actually wrote very specifically that English is not the singer's first language.
No, he is Finnish.
Yeah, 100%. And some of that, like, you can very clearly tell at points that he's, like, reading stuff he heard phonetically pronounced. Like, there's emotion and stuff that doesn't transfer. But it's really interesting knowing the background of the band, actually how cool I thought that was, that he was doing a pretty good job of singing in English, considering he probably speaks English, but, you know, it's not his first language. And there's an accent, but he does a really, really good job.
I watched a video of them on English, like addressing people, not one bit of English.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty certain that these guys stay in Europe. And if they come to America, they don't speak at their shows. They're like,
They probably know the word hello, you know.
yeah, but why say it?
Like if you say it, then it implies you know more.
Yeah.
So
Like if I just walk out and just walk away.
Why is this band entirely mute? Maybe we'll never know.
Well, they're not mute. They got a vocalist.
Why is he sing in English but not talk?
Europe, bro. We'll call that the effect of American music.
So the other thing I did find really interesting is what kind of album starts with the album name track first?
Yeah, that was fucking bonkers.
I've seen it done, not a lot, but I've seen it done. I think it's weird when it's like when the title track is like in the lower second half.
Can we talk about how shit the fucking names are on this?
They're very generic.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we went over it at dinner. There's a bajillion songs named Glory Days. I think they're all better. Survive, Demand, Broken, Firefly, Frozen in Time, We're Not Alone. Like, these are just like, come on names.
Dude, I think I've made a song called Broken.
I've definitely
somewhere
written
down
5.
Dude, I literally wrote down that it was like English someone learned from watching sci-fi movies broken. Really weird.
This guy just
Pseudoscience
watched
English.
all of like the fucking Sharknadoes. He's like, I've got music.
That's all you need.
I have the demand for more Sharknadoes, and I need to
Speaking
survive.
of demand, I'm hoping that you were trying to segue that.
Yeah.
If we don't have anything else, we'll move on to the second track, Demand. I gave this song a 6 out of 10.
I gave this a 5.5.
I gave the song a 6 out of 10.
5.
Here, give me the camera. I'll get this over with.
This early?
I literally got to this song and said, I have nothing.
It's because it's
No,
the
that's-
first
that's
song
fair.
again. It's just the first song
It's
again.
the first song minus the memorable part of the chorus.
Yeah, it was so similar. I was like, did I just listen to that track twice? I had to do a double take. I was like, no, that was a fully different song. I was so confused. And if it's so like, because here's the thing, it still sounds okay. You know, the actual sounds coming through the headphones are good, but like, it's so filler. It's copy paste.
It's funny because this one I agree, is more filler, but they fixed a lot of the major mixing issues from the first song in this one. And then I was like, but I like the other one better, even though it's mixed worse.
Look, I'm not going to be a hater because I can't sing. But this homie, I will say, is like not on key for half of this album. And I don't think it's his fault. Well, I mean, it is his fault, right? For like keeping it going. Because as every musician gets it, you never want to hang it up. You're going to play until you die. And that's what this guy's doing. But there does come a time when you cannot sing like you used to.
So you're just used to music that has so much auto-tune on it that you're not used to hearing that anymore.
Oh, the like flaws? See, that's the thing. I like the old music where there is the flaws, but I don't like when it's so out of key for so long that it bugs me.
So earlier at work, me and a coworker were listening to something that he pulled up. He was really excited to put this on at work, and I was like, what is that? And he was like, what? And then I started pointing it out. The singer was singing with such deep vibrato that it was grabbing their auto-tune and pulling it down to the next note for a millisecond. And I was hearing it do that and then bounce in the reverb. And he was like, what are you talking about? I was like, whoever did this has no idea what they're doing with the auto-tune. And it was so funny because he was like, I think it's like that on purpose. I was like, no, pull it up live. He's not doing that with his voice. He would die. He's like, no, he's doing that.
He is not ricocheting down a half step for a fucking millisecond, bro. I promise you. Yeah, he's not sitting on a goddamn fan while he's up there on stage.
He sat on the washing machine to sing this one.
He's on a giant vibrating platform, just shaking.
Sorry, I think it's
Somebody
funny
will.
when I can catch the auto-tune. That was the point. Sorry, that was a little bit of a digression.
But yeah, I do agree. We are so fucking babied by autotune. It's so great because no one is pitch perfect all the time, and if they are, they're dicks about it. But it's gonna happen, and it's inevitable in a recording session. But you do fix that with the wonderful tool of autotune. Now, if that's what makes you sing good, and if you can sing most of the way there and it fixes your bad spots, that's what you're supposed to use it for. And I think this guy can sing. He can belt. He can hit the notes. I watched a live video. Was way better than this album mixed. And he sounded pretty good. I think that maybe they should just do live albums from here on out. Like that actually is like they sound amazing live.
They couldn't fake all the other things they faked either live though.
Yeah.
There's the whole album is got a lot of covers in it where stuff was chopped or moved or fixed, and a lot of spots where things that should be there are replaced by synth lines that don't make sense or sound like they were recorded into the song. So there's some interesting things. So I mean,
And am I the only one who feels like doing that sort of shit takes away some of the humanity of the music?
So
Some of the human soul that has touched this?
the way I think this album came about was we have a deadline and we haven't started. Let's go. And then they started one-tracking things. And that's why there's all the cuts. And then the added synth stuff was whoever was in post was like, this guitar part we recorded 4 different takes of, and they're all bad. Fucking, that's what happened, bro.
I don't know. There are points of it where I'm like, so why did they put all the production effort there? I was like, why couldn't they have just, I don't know, fixed something else? And it makes it really funny because this is the point where I started hearing it. I literally wrote underdeveloped moments covered with production fixes, essentially is what I wrote in my notes. It was kind of interesting. The other thing I wrote we didn't touch on, this one had a better guitar solo. The second track.
I did have a note about liking the guitar solo, and I have a second note that says, I don't care if Logan disagrees with me, I like this one.
I shit you not, the guitar was the only thing on this album where I was like, that guy could be in a band.
God damn.
Like, the singer, until I saw the live stuff, I really thought that this was a session band. Like, and then, like, a guitar player that had a band. And then, like, them live is great. The bass and drums on this are fucking terrible.
True.
And then the guitar is just like, he's just playing his little heart out. He's not right all the time. But he's right, like, I'd say a solid 90% of the time. And I don't know if it's that he's wrong or that the singer's wrong.
It could be either.
So at this point in listening to this album, Logan reminded me of this. I was looking up the drummer online because I was listening to this on my phone. And I found out he actually doesn't have a social media page. Like, not one in English. Like, he doesn't have one. I was like, that's wild. So I thought that was really interesting. That means, he's either brand new to the band or he doesn't have anyone doing marketing for him, which means this band is not doing a lot. Or he just started, one of the two.
They have like 144,000 on
Yeah.
Insta, but I don't know how European musician following works. I don't get it. Truly don't. Because there's like a band over here, like Steel Panther, who's like almost like a small name here, will go and sell out a fucking stadium in Europe. Don't get it.
Yeah, I even dug a little bit, too, because, like, I'm not scared of using Google Translate to find stuff. I mean, it's fun. Nothing. I thought it was super interesting. I try not to get too deep into the lore of the band in case the album will be something. It'll taint something with the album, I guess. But sometimes I will look into the musicians because it's always interesting to me.
All right. So that's all we got. We'll move on to the third track, Broken. I gave this song a 7 out of 10.
I gave this song a 6 out of 10.
I give this song an 8.5 out of 10.
I gave this one an 8.
I just love the chorus. It got me going. I thought it was super fun, and I thought it was well done. It sounds like the rest of this other shit, but at this point, I didn't care. It was cool. This is only the third track in. I couldn't be exhausted by the sound, so it came at a great spot, and it let me enjoy the track.
Demand tried.
Demand did try, but this one sounds pretty different from Demand. Like, the chorus it seems like they put a lot more effort into it.
Yeah, I also wrote they did put a key change in this one, so they actually worked hard on this track.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something they just sat down and like grooved out in a day. That's kind of what the other ones kind of feel like.
I'm pretty sure this track is one of the only ones with an actual music video, isn't it?
There's
only
a
like
handful of them that
3
had
or
it. There
4.
there was like 3 or 4.
But out of an 11 song,
That's about standard.
that's about standard.
I usually see 3.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Sometimes they'll ball out and do like 5 or 6, but usually it's around the 3 or 4 range. That's pretty standard. Because they'll do the pre-release ones early, and those will just carry on over, and then they'll do 1 or 2 more after it drops.
They do a really funny one, and then they drop the album in September.
Listen, I want to make that video. I want to recreate that video so bad.
We'll get into it when we get there.
Yep. we will.
Carl, why did you rate this an 8? Do you agree with me?
Yeah, I put that this song finally had a hook in it too. There was like, this was probably the point, and then I was like, okay, I kind of like this album. I was like, I will tolerate this album, and this was probably the highest. I think this was my highest rated song.
This is my highest rated song as well.
Yeah, I think
agree
this was
with
my
you
highest
here.
rated song. So
This is for the album peaks.
yeah, track
Song number 3.
And that I'll complain about it later.
I've had conversations with people. The third track is either like the best or the most forgettable on an album 90% of the time.
That is true. We have adamantly described how an artist's song is going to be their third track on the
Yep.
next album.
It's either the best, the worst, or the title track. It's always one of those three things.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent pattern to pick up on.
All right. I'll bitch about this song for a second. Drums and bass. Fucking throw them away again. Junk. I'm not liking how I sound to myself right now.
You know what's interesting about that real quick?
Hmm.
I did not hear him at all in my car. I could barely
The
hear
drums or the bass?
I could barely hear the whole bass issue that you guys were having.
Mm-hmm.
I could barely hear it in my car. When I swapped over to speakers, it got a lot better. It was
I
weird.
just thought the drummer kind of sucked on
The beginning of this
though.
song is maybe the worst with like I don't think there's a bass guitar that plays a note in the first minute and a half of this song.
They just
Well-
got Jason Newsted.
Man, when this started with the choir and synth, I was like, oh shit, this is like a 2. I literally wrote it. That's the first thing I marked out. I was looking at my thing.
Oh my god, you have so many numbers next to this one.
Yeah, because I kept
1, 2,
changing
3,
my
4,
mind.
5, 6, 7.
I was literally like, okay, it's getting better. And I was like, again? This one made me really mad.
Scratch that one out and put 8 again, so you have 8 numbers to get to 8.
I did like the keys on this song, and I thought the guitar was actually really good.
As much as Carl didn't like it, I did like the choir and the synth or the strings on this song that come in later. But yeah, other than that, I can't give it above a 7 given its the mixing issues on especially the bass. So
Bass was non-existent, bro.
no.
I'm not convinced that they had a player.
I don't
I
they
think it's
did
like a
in
lot
like
of
the
it's
chorus.
MIDI.
Yeah, in the chorus maybe, but the beginning of the song there is nothing
Like,
at all.
They
The
have a
chorus is
bass player.
significantly better than the rest of the song.
Oh yeah.
Bass player might have been sick on the day of recording.
Yeah, I'd believe it.
Dude, I wonder if my headphones are broken then. Because, like, seriously, I heard so much bass.
Really?
Yeah, no, I like had a point where I was like, I was getting tired of listening to it. It may just be those headphones need to break in. That was wild because I was listening, and like it almost sounded like there was no treble. I had trouble hearing the vocals over the bass.
See, I had trouble hearing the vocals over the drowning just sense of sound, but I didn't think it was bass. I thought it was just the drums are mic'd like dick. The guitar tone is just cutting through clean. Like, it's clearly not amp mic'd. It's clearly running through a processor. And then the vocals were just, I mean, like we've said the whole time, they're flat. They're like a guy who can hit the notes, which, I mean, he's old, so he did the job.
Did you? This is the point where I noticed the whole album is the exact same volume. That like even
Yep.
when the synth and choir were playing earlier, like they were screaming loud.
They got no motion in this
There-
album.
It's literally just flat the
heard things were
entire
loud?
time.
You heard loud in this album?
Yes.
So when I listened to it, I was going back and forth because I was kind of comparing the mix with a different song at the same volume, and I was at I know the settings. My computer's always set to 50 volume, but I had YouTube set to 20 volume because I'm in a quiet fucking room, and this album was so much quieter than every other song I played on the other tab.
I actually did listen to tracks before listening to this because I knew I was going to complain about the mix. So I listened to I was like, what did early high school me listen to? And thought of a couple tracks that I
That
actually
was a while
liked.
ago.
Yeah, I'm kind of old, but I found some tracks that I knew I liked the mix of and listened to, and I don't know, for some reason so much bass for me it was wild.
Hey Logan, why you got your glasses off?
My noggin hurts. I got a big fucking head. Tiny fucking glasses. That's the only reason.
The only reason.
Purely.
Do we have anything else?
I'm good.
Can't fucking read my screen.
Fair enough.
Sorry, I read my notes. It's bad.
What, for this one or the next one?
This one.
Oh, God.
He ain't holding the microphone. I don't think anybody can hear that.
Oh, it's good. So good.
All right.
You gonna
Let's get
withhold that one?
Yeah.
All right. We'll get into the next song, Firefly. I gave this a 5 out of 10.
I gave this a 6.05. with some justification.
I gave this a 5.5 out of 10.
Jesus, Carson, we're the same fucking person.
We really are.
I actually gave this a 7.
Okay.
Interesting.
I will go on the defensive of my Steven number. I thought this song was not much better. Like it just caught me at the right time to be barely better than the last song. I was like, that's not half a point better. Like Steven's valid in this one. This is like a barely better song. Hence the 0.05.
You know what I hate? I hate that they gave us effort and then they immediately took it away. First 2 songs, okay. The first song, okay, that's pretty nice. I like this. I think I'm gonna like this album. Second song, fuck, all the effort went away. They made the same song again. That kind of sucks. Oh, cool, it's back. The third track, it made up for it. Awesome, it is gonna be a good album. This track kicked me in the dick. No, it's not. This is the second song again.
They
Fuck
turned
you.
the vocals up though.
Yeah, but they're still bad.
They turned them up though, so I could hear them.
They aren't bad, but it's like,
They're
He's-
old man vocals.
yeah, he's definitely just in there doing his job. That's all he's doing.
I was gonna say they're old dude doing shit that fucking young dudes have to scream to do.
Yeah.
So
My issue with this song is that it was safe. This sounded like a radio, like it was made for radio play song. And also starting the very beginning of this song starts like what you think the middle of this song should be and then brings it back. And I didn't understand, and just everything about this song is kind of boring to me.
It's such a generic, like,
Yeah.
just. Okay, time to sit through this.
This sounds like
generic? You mean the whole fucking album?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, this one's no. I get what he's saying. This one's like even within this album.
Specifically generic.
Dang,
Specifically
we
this
haven't
one.
even got to the most generic song on the album.
There's
yet.
others that come
No,
close, but
I
this
have
one.
a thumbs up emoji that beat this one out for being more generic.
Was
the
it
only
Glory
reason that-
Days?
No.
Should have been.
So I let Evan listen to some of this in the car earlier. I was taking him somewhere, and he was literally like, "How did they pick 2 terrible generic metal albums back to back?" And I was like, "You stay out of it."
We didn't. Our lovely viewers did. And if you would like us to listen to your album and probably shit on it, go ahead and drop a comment for us on any single one of our videos.
Also, PSA. This one's for the Monday Wednesday reel.
Oh, the Monday Wednesday reel.
Drop a song in the comments. We're planning a big video where we review a bunch of songs. So load up the comments with songs you want us to review.
Get on that shit now.
All right, cool. PSA's over. Carson, what you got?
He's gonna Vine boom that.
Oh, I was just gonna make a bet with the chat here. You know,
0 people.
Yeah.
yeah, 0 people in chat.
Yeah, where the fuck is Sean?
Yeah, Sean's
Where's
gone.
our single
There's 3
viewer?
people watching, but no one's.
No, they're
2 of them are
Why
on
not?
these
Yeah.
couches.
Who's the other?
It's your mom,
reveal
probably.
yourself, Winge.
When do you type in the chat right now?
Reveal yourself, Creighton.
No, I said all I had to say about this song.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'll reveal what's so funny. What I've been laughing at this entire time. What happened when I started this is I got the Eye of the Tiger reference right at the beginning.
That made me so fucking mad.
That made me laugh for so long that I listened to the whole album, like the whole track once, and I was like, "Oh shit, I have to go back and listen to this again." And I was like, "That's probably the most I've laughed at something so ridiculous in a long time," and that's why this is ranked so high for me. I was like crying. It was so funny.
He say, I've got the Eye of the Tiger. I've got the will of the. He literally just he doesn't change the lyrics. He just says, "I've got it."
Yeah. And the band literally switches to like the beat from the beginning of Eye of the Tiger when he's doing that. Just when he's doing that, I was like, that is probably the funniest thing I've ever heard someone take time to do in an album. I don't know. I laughed way too hard.
Comedy gold.
All right. Next up, We Are Not Alone. I gave this track a 5.5 out of 10.
I gave this track a 3 out of 10.
1 second. I actually gave this track a 6.5 out of 10.
Give this one a 6.
I still thought it was super generic. I just
Yup.
didn't think it was as bad as the last one. And that's the only reason I rated it higher. I had a more enjoyable time with this one for whatever reason.
I can go. This had... No, I hit the wrong button. This had all of the everything working towards it to be like a thumbs middle emoji. Don't worry, that one's coming, but it did kind of nothing. It's just another power metal song. That's it. Even the guitar solo at the end, like, yeah, it's all right, but it's not better than any of the ones that came before it. So,
I did say that I will have to read my notes for this mentally, because they just say it's just generic and lazy. I don't even know how to rate this anymore. I at this point in the album was when I gave up on even trying to dig any sense of hope out of it. Because at the start of this, you're like, yeah, you'll probably, like, when we get the albums, obviously, we give, like, a little preview to ourselves. We listen to, like, 30 seconds. And then Connor goes, you're probably going to like this week's album. And I go, oh, what's it sound like? He's like, oh, it's like Dragon Force-esque. I'm like, I fuck with Dragon Force. I like them. And I turn this shit on. Fucking hell.
when I said that, I was like halfway through the first song.
It's true. And then later in the week, it did change to the fatigue sets in.
Shit, the fatigue set in by the second song.
Yeah, you guys are fatigued by 4-minute songs, though.
It's not that. It's just that it didn't do anything different. It's like listening to a 58-minute song that doesn't do anything extra.
It's almost as bad as listening to an 11-minute song.
We'll get there. It is wild to think that there's a song in this album longer than Divorce Papers.
Jesus.
We've listened to songs on this show longer than Divorce Papers.
Yeah, but this one.
Why this one?
Not to say that I would rather listen to Divorce Papers. That is not
wouldn't.
an accurate statement. I would not.
So if you guys didn't get the reference on that one, I'll explain it when we get to it. Because there's a track they're very clearly referencing in that one, I think, and it's a 24-minute track. So I would think that's probably what it is, but we'll talk about it when we get to it. I wrote on this one, it was really funny because I'm a big fan of a lot of bands that are more in the prog metal genre. So I wrote, we hadn't had a meter change yet. And I was like, oh, he just did that. I was like, wait, was that an accident? Because it never happened again. They played in 2 bars of 7/8 randomly, and it never happened again. I was like, oh, that must have been an accident.
Whoa.
I literally
How
thought...
do you do that on accident?
I don't know. I don't know if it was... if it's intentional, it's fine. Hopefully they're not watching, and I'm completely roasting him right now. But it was super funny because I was like, okay, did he mean it or not? Because they only did it once, and they never do it the rest of the album. That was one of the things I kind of missed overall.
I hope they are watching, and I hope they cry.
They had a couple of decent songs on this.
Yeah, a couple, and then they made the rest the same song.
This would have been a pretty good EP. I know we're not doing overall in the middle of this, but
I think an EP.
I'll restate that later.
Here's the thing. This is Logan's little rant about music is gonna finally kick in. I'm fucking sick of it. If you are an old goddamn band and you want to stick around, here, I'm gonna tell you the secret. Stop trying. You won't. Do what the Beatles did. Change your sound to be the sound. I don't fucking care if this is a metal band. You want to be popular right now? Cool. Go do a collab with Sabrina Carpenter. I do fuck all. Like, just stop trying to find this generic sound that was popular when Guitar Hero 3 came out as your fucking sound. Metal has not changed in 10 years. And that is why it has not gotten more popular in 10 years. Now, we have seen these, like, diversions with Bad Omens and, like, Sleep Token, where they're getting kind of into this pop element as well. And so that has created its own subgenre of whatever the fuck you want to call it. I call it Bad Omens metal because that's the band I like the most out of it.
So interesting fact, you said that and I didn't connect it until just now. I wrote the track that the song reminded me of. I wrote the artist of that track next to all of these. Most of them are assigned a track, and it didn't occur to me that it's like the artist list off Guitar Hero 3.
Yeah, it's like, it's nuts.
I was literally like, when you were saying that, I was like, no. And so I started flipping through my notes. I was like, that is absolutely ridiculous.
Like,
They took the track listing and they're like, "Yep, let's do that."
if I can fucking play a better set list on my goddamn Wii than your album, I'm sorry, dude. You're cooked. Get the fuck out of the kitchen.
I mean, this cover band is just a little cooked.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. You guys have made way more money in music than I have spent in music. And god damn it, if I didn't spend so much in music, I'd probably have a Ferrari. But holy shit. Either shit or get off the pot. Make something new or get with the current times.
Get with the program, buddy.
Both of what you just said is the same thing.
Fucking
You're giving them one option.
no, either make the new sound of 2024. Like, you go, this is it. Our sound is the new sound. Like, and ride with that. Or fall into the Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor Swift eras, sucking dick in a loophole of goddamn bullshit. Imagine Dragons sounds like every other rock band bullshittery there is. And go be a corporate sellout, man.
So I don't know. This is super funny to me. I've been thinking about it the whole time you're talking about this. It's literally like, okay, so you started the band in 1984. So you're gonna go back to your original sound, and you pick 2002.
Yeah, it's like
what?
this is Motley Crue, Saints of Los Angeles shit, where they're like, we're going back to our old sound. And then they release White Trash Circus. Like, yeah, that goes right next to Dr. Feelgood. Okay. No. Fucking piss off, dude. God damn it. Haterade, bro.
Now I can't fucking think without hearing the fucking Dr. Feelgood chorus in my brain, you fucker.
You're welcome for that fucking brainworm. That was the whole Monday reel right there.
Yeah, for real.
I just... Sorry.
So, Frozen in Time next.
I believe so.
All right. Gave it a 6 out of 10.
This is track 6, correct?
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah, I gave this a 4 out of 10.
I gave this a 6 out of 10.
This has a 5.
This was the song I directly was like, this sounds like Sabaton. This is just like a Euro metal song. It fits in there. Is it less listenable than other Euro metal songs because of the mix? Yeah. Is that these guys' fault? Probably not.
The only thing this song does a little different than the rest is that it has an extra 2 minutes. That's literally it. It sounds the exact same generic bullshittery we've heard throughout the entire rest of the fucking album.
Yeah, but that means we get 2 guitar solos.
I did kind of like the ending, except for when they kept re-saying just the words Frozen in Time, because it wasn't the last time he said it, but the second last time where he tried to scream it. They should have just cut that part out, because they were doing fine up until then. And then he opened his mouth again, and he hit it the last time, but he did not hit it the second last time.
This is such a haterade episode. Goddamn.
I'm trying not to.
It's seeping out from me on the couch to Connor.
It's eventually gonna make its way all the way.
No. There's a lot in the middle that I got beef with, but there's some on the ends that I liked.
See,
at the end, I
was just saying, at
beef.
the end, I think I'm gonna be the only fucking advocate.
Oh, at that point, the corruption will have spread all the way from you, drained out of you, gone through Connor, gone through Carl, and then it hits me.
Well,
And that's why I'm
my
drinking
highest
the
song
hate
is like
parade.
the second last.
My highest 3 are the last 3, with one of them being a 7.
I
that is my
despise the last
highest.
song.
I like it.
I mean, if it wasn't, we'll get to it. We're doing Frozen in Time right now, and I really don't have anything else to say.
Yeah,
So
because it's generic bullshit.
It is. You're not wrong.
So I originally put symphonic metal kind of as a plus or minus, and then as it went, I was like, oh, this is horrible. Because later on, there's a point where you can't hear the guitar solo over like someone playing like the Imperial Death March on like 6 floor toms. I was like, what is going on? I was like, why is that so loud? Like, I had to turn my phone down because I was like, what is going on?
Band screaming in Carl's ears.
Dude, I was like, what is going on? It was so wild. But I wrote also that it reminded me of like 2000s Ozzy Osbourne, which I didn't mean to be such a savage perv. That's what I was laughing at as I reread it. I was like, that is so brutal, but it's very honest.
The worst part about Ozzy Osbourne is since 1980, Ozzy Osbourne has not sounded any different to when he does right now because they have caked so many fucking effects on that guy and given him so many drugs that he just walks into that booth and yells, and then that song comes out.
Didn't he recently do a commercial where he fucking sticks his whole upper torso out of a car window?
That sounds like a terrible idea. His tour got canceled because he fucking fell and broke something when I was supposed to go see him. Carl's just fucking snickering on the couch.
No, I'm
He's
laughing.
doing what?
I'm laughing so hard because of the story. This guy who is a roadie, he swore that Ozzy Osbourne was a vampire and that he died sometime in the mid-'70s and continued living as a vampire, that he would never die. And I was literally like, "Do what?" I was like, "Hold on," and he was like, "I can't tell you anything else," and then like left. I was like,
What the
I literally like, I hope someone's playing an elaborate prank on me. That's one of those things. I was like, you.
Welcome to the Monday Reel, Carl.
That's like kind of believable.
Monday, Wednesday reel.
Thought it was still being called the Monday Reel.
No, I like Monday, Wednesday reel.
The Monday, Wednesday reel.
Eventually, we'll just keep adding days.
Starring
The Monday,
Jenna
Wednesday,
Ortega.
Tuesday.
Every time we move it, we'll just
But
add
the days
day
can't
on.
be in order. They have to be in whatever
They
order
can't be
were
in over, and we
posted.
will overlap.
This is the Monday, Thursday, Wednesday, Monday, Thursday,
If-
Tuesday
if-
Patreon
If Wednesday
video.
flops, it will be the Monday, Wednesday, Monday reel.
The MWM, as the cool kids say. We'll get
Okay, let's move
shirts.
on to the next fucking song. Unless you still have
We
stuff
make
to
a
say,
shirt
Carl.
every
No,
time we
no.
move it. Limited drops, just the MW shirt.
Oh, I can't wait for this next song. I get to talk about my favorite part of this album.
We ready to move on?
Yeah.
This is World of Fire, right? Or World
Yeah.
on Fire?
Okay, I was like, this is not Glory Days, because I remember vehemently going back and listening to that song 4 times to make sure I hated it. I wasted 20 minutes of my day to confirm a fucking theory.
Your haterade is not going to seep in for that song. But World on Fire, I gave a 5 out of 10, but I gave the video a 10 out of 10.
Is this the video? You
Yes,
sent me?
this is the video.
I gave this a 4.5 out of 10, and I will also give the video a 10 out of 10.
I have to agree with you, Connor. Actual music-wise, I gave it a 5. And then I actually paid attention to the video, and it jumped up. I think it deserves like a 5 or a 6, music-wise, because it's the same bullshit. But that music video, goddamn.
As to say exactly, we'll just get the music portion over, because I don't think anyone has anything.
Carl should
Oh,
probably say
shit.
his number
yeah.
first.
Sorry, Carl. Ed
It's fine.
first.
No.
Sorry.
I give the song a 6. It's fine.
I'll go first because mine's easy. This is the thumbs neutral emoji.
Yeah, all my bitching was exactly what I just ranted about. It's just generic 2013.
However, the music video being released in 2022 with that level of quality is maybe my favorite part about this entire album.
Oh my.
Holy hell.
God.
That is definitely like a $500.
I want to
music
know who
video.
made it. No, that was a free video that somebody's nephew in film school made for him, and I want to meet that motherfucker.
Listen, when I was sitting at my computer and I was listening to this, and I'm not really paying attention to the video. I'm letting it play. I look over a couple of times and I see the most horrendous CGI on top of green screen, non-color corrected, bad effects, and they're just plastered on top. They look so terribly bad.
I literally wrote down that at one point it looked like you were watching someone play a Sega game behind them. I was like, what is going
Yes.
on?
And there's this weird girl, like there's this weird child that's throughout the entire video, and it's like it's supposed to be this like, oh, we're the survivors of the apocalypse and the world is ending, blah.
think-
And there's a kid.
My favorite part of all of it was the bass player's hair was giving that green screen so much hell that it was just this fucking hard shadow around this dude's head.
Listen, whoever color correct or color graded, if you can even call it that, this video should be executed publicly.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. However, I want to make something like this, and I want to put this out on the channel.
Can we please talk about the Minecraft world that randomly appears for like 10 seconds and they never go back to it? There's just this world made out of metal cubes or like grass
All right,
cubes
all
or
right.
some shit like that.
Do you think Witchy could hit some of the notes of this genre?
I bet we could do a power metal
Can we make a
song.
power metal song and make a video 1-to-1 that video?
Here, I'll do you one better. We can make the most generic
Exactly.
power metal song.
Exactly.
We will do the straight up 3 chords, trem picking, 1 scale solos. We'll do it.
I say we don't even release it. We just drop it 1 week as the video that week.
That'd be so funny.
Also, it does look like if you had YouTube autoplay on and woke up at 4 a.m, that you're on
Yes.
some like teenager's short film he made.
So bad.
It's so good.
I was dying laughing. I remember I was like, I texted Connor. I was like, hey man,
Yeah.
have you gotten to track 7 yet on the videos?
I'm so glad you did because I would have missed it. I was not watching on YouTube anymore. So
Oh,
I would have missed
no.
it if you didn't message me.
The
See, I
1
got
week
shown
I
on the
decide I'm gonna
couch, yeah.
watch the videos, I give Connor the greatest gift of watching.
It's
this.
like the 1 week that I didn't watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm so glad I watched it on YouTube. It was a joyous moment when I looked over and I got to see that.
Thank you, Stratovarious, for this video.
I think there were multiple points in this album where I was in tears over similar things. like I don't know how hard I've laughed at something, and it you know, like I was like, okay, I'm being a dick earlier when I was complaining about something, and then this happened, and I was literally like, they have to know. I was like, they literally have to know. I was like, this can't be. Is this serious? I was like, this is kind of upsetting. It got to a point where I just like. I felt like a villain for making fun of them almost. It was so brutal at points.
Well, because when I did watch like the first 4 songs on YouTube, and I was reading the comments, and there's nothing but praise for it, and I'm like, who?
It's because
What?
they knew to look for it. It's confirmation bias.
So I felt like a dick for like the first 3 songs because obviously, you know, it's like 8 a.m, just press play. And then I'm like, dude, this guy's fucking old. Like, you can hear it. And I'm like, how long has this band been around before I start feeling like too big of an asshole? Because if it's 10 years, all right, I'll give it to them. They're still rough. They're still learning. 40 years, they gotta know that they're bad. Like,
I don't know how you put this out and not know. Like, how do you just go for that level of copy paste your own sound without knowing?
This was about the point in the album where I actually thought it was like intentional and it was an artistic choice. I was like, is this some weird like hipster metal thing I don't understand?
it's called power metal. It's my bad. Modern power metal. Old stuff like Maiden,
Yeah.
good shit. And then you get to like the Dragon Force area where it's like a lot of digital effects. And digital kind of ruined metal because digital made everything possible. Digital made insanely impossible guitar solos really fucking easy. Like I know A7X does it the true way of like truly harmonizing, but the fact that I can digitally go into my like little however much GX100 Boss pedal board and put in like a harmonizer in whatever key I'm in and have it harmonize the entire song for me, no other guitar player needed, is just insane. It's just taking it all out.
Well, yeah, and that's what they've been doing that since the 90s. I mean, we've had pedals to do that since the 90s in the guitar world. So it instantly just made like having 2 guitar players completely obsolete. Is what happened because all the guys that do this can literally click a button and they can literally set presets. So they can be like, oh, I'm going to do a 4th, I'm going to do a 5th, I'm going to do octaves, and they can click through presets and then kick the pedal on, and they can even do it live, and could do it live in the 90s. A lot of these were rack processors then, but I mean, you
Yeah, now I can throw it on my board where you'll never see it, as opposed to it being backstage where you never saw it.
yeah, the drums are super fake too.
I could not tell if these were programmed drums or not, but their live drummer was significantly better than the tracks.
Yeah, so I think they were programmed drums and real cymbals. Or like there's a drum kit under there, but they kicked the room lights on and then used triggers for everything else. Like they didn't mic them. Like
Mm.
everything sounds, I don't know, maybe the snare, but everything just is so clear when he does it. And it's such a muddy mix, you almost need it. I mean, that was super popular around this time in metal in general. But I mean, it's like, man, you can really hear whatever cheap software they used.
All right, let's go to Glory
Let's
Days.
move on to Glory Days. 7.5.
2.
Holy shit, 7.5.
Jesus Christ.
4.
Do I need to go over there?
Probably.
As long as I get the comfy couch.
Single hater.
No,
couch.
no, no, no.
Comfy couch is
Logan,
about
you
to not
come
exist
over
anymore.
here.
No, whoa. I earned this spot, damn it.
Who wants it first?
I'll take this shit. The vocal track on this song is out of tune. He goes out of tune quite badly, and the mix is just horrendously shit. This is, as I've stated, the worst song I've ever heard titled Glory Days. I did listen to like 6 other ones on Apple Music to confirm this statement, to which I agreed still that this was the worst. Bruce Springsteen's Glory Days is at the top of my list, but that's just because I play it. And they ripped off the Avengers theme song. You hear it really bad in the bass track at the end because it goes dig-a-dun, 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 dig-a-dun. And I'm like, that's the fucking Avengers. And then you hear it in the guitar part because it's like, wow, no. Like they just cut out like 2 notes. I'm like,
Dude, no. My thing earlier where I said they learned English from watching sci-fi movies, totally not a joke. Like 100%. They quote Star Wars, they quote Avengers. I heard some Star Trek, some Stargate. I mean, there's been so many funny references in this so far. It's been really good.
just waiting here.
In the defense of the album, if you listen like I do and don't hear lyrics on the first time through, it helps.
It's all fun and games until you just hear the word Cylon fucking thrown out in the
mean,
middle.
I kind of agree with you there, Connor. It's a lot better. This song is a lot better if you choose to ignore the lyrics, which is what I did on the first run through.
There were a couple where
On
I
accident.
would end up hearing some of the lyrics and I'd be like, no, I need to not do that if this album's gonna have a chance.
Oh, but I thought the rhythm section in this one kind of kicked. I thought it was
pretty
good.
Yeah.
That's kind of where most of its points came from, just because I didn't think it was the same rhythm as all the other songs.
Yeah, because it was the Avengers theme song.
And guess what? That's better than the last 3 or 4 songs we listened to.
It's better than
That's
the last
true.
6.
Yeah, I really just fucking hated it. I think the big factor was the singer being off key. It's like there are so many tools to fix that, let alone hop back in the booth. You can section out vocal lines. Do it.
I literally wrote that the song never changes. It's actually like the same song twice. They could have just cut the song in half and not lost anything, I don't think, lyrically.
I could make that argument for most of the songs on this album.
Well, but this one, it was really apparent, I
Oh.
guess, because it was just so flat. I was like, this should be, why is this so long? I was like, it should not be this long. In the middle of it, it was super funny. I was like, why did they choose to play the song twice? Why are they doing this? I don't know. That one was really, really obvious that they didn't take the time to think about the edit even.
I think with metal, it's a weird genre because you get roped into this. What's the shortest metal song you've heard? And then when you really think about it, the shortest metal song I've ever heard is 4 minutes. I don't know that I've heard one shorter than 4 minutes. So it's like,
It's Firefly. Firefly's 320.
is it 320?
And if funny enough, it is my lowest rated
Exactly. So it's like metal has a time limit
song.
to fledge out these themes. If they were fucking good, they're just not.
Isn't Welcome to the Family like 2 minutes and 89 seconds?
Yeah, it's actually common in different genres for metal tracks to be like a minute and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Like, out of genre playing in.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff where like, I'm thinking more like prog metal. A lot of those albums will have like minute long.
Oh, I'm
2
thinking
minute
like
long.
true to the fucking, like when you say the word metal, I'm thinking Sabbath. Like, Sabbath actually probably did start with shorter run times. Actually, no, Paranoid's long as dick, and all their famous shit is long as fuck.
Well, but yeah, like Iron Man is short.
Thought Iron Man was 4 minutes, but 30 seconds of that is intro.
Maybe, I don't know. Some of their tracks are fairly short.
I mean, isn't
and
there a minute and a half of intro on War Pigs?
War Pigs is pretty
Yes.
much just
War
an
Pigs
intro
is
and
intro.
outro.
What do you mean?
Yeah, it's just an intro and outro. That's all it is. There's like 2 minutes of song in the middle.
Or whatever the fuck the words are. Who knows? It's Ozzy Osbourne, dude.
Just slur a bunch of letters together. You'll get it.
I don't know. Do you count AC/DC as the beginning of metal? Because if you do, a lot of their tracks are like a minute.
AC/DC is the beginning of jock rock. No, I'm just kidding. AC/DC to me is just hard rock. Like hard rock is a genre that's like, how the fuck do you define it?
Mhm.
Because I've seen people lump like Bon Jovi to me, which is big hair. And I've also, if you go to Apple Music, anything that's not screamo, that is metal, is
Is
hard
hard rock.
rock.
Yeah.
Like I want to say I was scrolling through hard rock, clicked on a song, and the first words were, and I was like, that's not hard rock. So it was like, it's a weird gray area.
I actually thanked them later on for not having any Cookie Monster moments in this. That's what I always call them. I read that on something. Oh, my grandmother called it that one day. So I've always called like unnecessary screaming Cookie Monster music, and a lot of modern metal is kind of, they're known for that.
C is for cookie, and that's okay with me. I got a song, guys.
Hold on. He's cooking. Cooking cookies.
C is for cooking. So Breaking Bad metal
Okay,
song.
Walter.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. All right, ready to move on?
Yeah.
Breakaway, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Breakaway, I gave a 6 out of 10.
I gave this a 7 out of 10.
I gave this a 6 out of 10.
I gave this a 6 out of 10.
Real quick. Done.
That's
Fushigi Blender.
kind of where. Well, I wouldn't call it a blended song. They switched it up. It's kind of almost a ballad song for this one.
For me, it just
Little
super
bit.
faded into the background. That's it.
This is an 80s band. They're going to have a ballad.
Well, yeah. I knew it was coming. I didn't like it that much.
I think you guys are missing out on the most important factor here. The bass guitar showed up. The bass guitar was on this song and did really good.
Logan, what Dream Theater song is this?
Fuck, you're so right. This is a Dream Theater song.
Which one is it?
I know exactly.
Is it Pull Me Under? Somebody feel free to correct me if anyone's watching, because I don't remember which one it was.
Nobody is.
I wrote I wrote Pull Me Under,
Nope.
but I don't think that's it. So there's another Dream Theater song that has that weird acoustic guitar with chorus on it thing.
Let me listen.
Yeah,
It's this one.
it's Pull Me Under. It's the exact same effect, and I was like, oh, so that's what they were trying to do. They just, I guess, didn't. I was like, they didn't get the interesting parts of the music. They just took the tone. And then I realized a lot of the guitar tone is like that.
This is definitely, you could tell who their influences were in making this album. I don't want to be a dick here, but I'm going to be a dick. If you were a 40-year-old band, you should not be taking obvious influences either this late in the game or not acknowledging them.
Logan, you forget they're a cover band.
That
They
is true.
have to take influences.
They're also Finnish, so I'm sure that they probably have a bigger cesspool of metal music that we've never even fucking heard.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm 90% sure Pull Me Under is on Guitar Hero 3.
Actually, I think it
It
is.
is.
And, like it's not the DLC, but the unlocks after you beat it.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it! I like FC'd that game one time. You'd think I'd like this album, but
Well, that's the reason you don't, because you'd rather just be listening to all the songs they took major inspiration from.
that is so very true. There definitely, we've had that problem a good few times where we would rather listen to their inspiration. It was like we kind of sitting here thinking about it, took Allman Brothers for granted. Because it's like we sat there and chat on a 30-minute long song, as we should have. It was 30 fucking minutes. But Allman Brothers are the inspiration for a lot of guys. So we got to skip the step of having to listen to the guys who sound kind of like the Allman Brothers and just listen to the Allman Brothers.
Hey, I counted it up today. We have 11 unaccounted for weeks moving forward. So we got plenty of time to get those bands.
So you know what? Hey, musicians who inevitably find this shit, as we factually know, tell us your inspirations and the album that inspired you to make your most recent album. Fuck it.
Tell it to us before we review that album.
Yeah. Let us know so we don't shit on it.
It will probably help you in the long run.
But let us know your inspirations if you want us to listen to your album, or if you want us to listen to the album that inspired your album and your album. We've got Venmo.
No, we have 11 weeks. We'll do both.
We have 11 weeks, yeah.
That's not 11 weeks till the end. That's 11 weeks we don't know what we're doing yet.
Yeah, it's actually like 3 weeks till the end.
This is the end.
I'm retiring in 3 weeks, guys.
No. We established this earlier. You die in season 6, are resurrected in season 7, and then I die in season 8.
That is true.
Carson, you quit in season 7.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, our script writers are getting
don't
wild.
Wait.
Carl becomes CEO in season 12.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say, does that make me Ashton Kutcher in this situation?
Wait, don't I get involved in some
Carl
kind of
is the
scandal in
Kelso.
season 5?
Yeah, and it really affects your thumbnail work, so we end up having a fight over that, and then you quit.
Oh, yeah. It took me like a full season to be like, okay, these guys just treat me like ass.
And then as soon as you left, Logan died, and I had to scramble.
Yeah, and then when I come back, Connor inevitably dies, and
It
then
was-
I have to
yeah.
scramble.
I
and
forgot
then
that Connor's the main story in this plot line.
Yeah.
You know.
This is
it's his
it
his
is
character
Connor's.
growth.
It is
I-
Connor's show.
No, I ain't breaching contract, you motherfucker.
So, can we do the thing where, like, 10 years later, a character no one's seen for 10 years gets hit by a bus and you find out?
That would definitely be Zach's story arc, but I think that's because it would actually happen. All right, I'm going to divulge into a Zach story for a moment.
Jesus.
We went to a place I know's opening show. Go to support our boys in a place I know, Max and Nick of Harmless Habit, as well as Jacob Mooney, their drummer, and Ehab. I do not remember his Instagram handle. I know Jacob Mooney's is like the Jacob Mooney. I just know that. So we go to this show, and we get in relatively early, enough to go talk with the band guys, and then Harmless Habit showed up, so we were talking with them. You guys, well, we all finally met Rin. You guys found out that he was a true, real person. So we're just hanging there, and then we look back, and Zach is fucking gone. Then he shows up like 10 minutes later with a beer. He had a Miller.
Yeah.
I don't know how he gets it, because I walk up to the bar, and I go, hey, can I get a Coors? And he goes, don't have Coors. I have Bud Light and PBR. And I go, my friend has a Miller. He's like, I haven't had Miller all night. So I don't know if he went to another bartender that had one Miller left, or if Zach found a Miller and just had it. But then we lose him like 3 more times throughout the night during the fucking show. And then he just comes back.
He what?
He just comes.
So, one of the shows I went to, I will never forget, the band was all drinking PBR. I had a bartender yell at me because I walked up and I was like, just give me a PBR, I guess. And he was like, I don't have PBR. The band brought those in. And like walked off. I was like, bro, you're going to be okay.
At that same show, I did get judged hella hard for buying 3 PBRs. I bought 3 PBRs, and the bartender looked at me at every PBR after the first one. I walk up with an empty can, throw it in the trash can. He's like, you cannot want a second PBR. He's like, give me a second PBR. And I throw the second one away. He's like, you cannot want a third PBR. I was like, oh, yep, and cashed out.
You even hit him with the Jesus, man.
I ruined that guy's night. He had to serve me 3 PBRs.
Should have cashed out and then came back and got a fourth.
Got a
one.
4th PBR.
Yeah, I'd like to start another tab.
We did not steal anything from that venue.
Don't talk about what we stole from a different venue.
We have
You can't see it, but I have it.
we have maybe perchance accidentally taken a thing from a venue that was left in a spot where there was just trash.
Listen. I didn't take it from the venue because I was taking it from the venue. That was just an unrelated
He
consequence
thought
of
he
me
found
taking
a cool
it from the
trinket.
venue.
He thought he got a rare loot drop. You know.
Exactly.
Dude, that was a nutty venue that I feel like we have not gotten to all tell our weird stories about, because I had a certainly funky story. I asked for like a set list from Bug Moment, and then they're like, "Oh, we don't have one." I was like, "Cool." So I was like, I just went to the bathroom. While I was in the bathroom, I guess they got a set list and gave it to you to give to me.
Yeah.
So I missed all of that because some random chick walked in while I was in the bathroom. In the men's room, like at the urinal, I go pee, and then she just walks in, and she's like, "Oh, hi." And I'm like, this is the men's room. And she's just like, "Okay." And then just walks past me.
What I stole, by the way.
That is what I started stealing the Bug Moment.
Yeah, Jasmine ran up to me after, like, maybe 5 seconds after you went to the restroom, and she's like, "Hey, where'd he go?" And I was like, "He went to the bathroom." And so she just throws me a set list. She's like, "Oh, give this to him."
I did ask for a set list. That was a great show.
Yes, it
Yep.
was.
That was Bug Moment, Hekra, great people, great friends.
Do you want a random Carl story?
Yes, I'm always
So-
game for a random Carl story.
When I was cooking at a diner, late night, certain southern diner where we have gravy, a 14-year-old girl came in and literally just took our wet floor sign and then just like ran. And I was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Seriously, what are you doing?" I was like, "There's no one in the restaurant." And she ran and got in a car, and someone was sitting there and they were laughing. I was like, "Hey, can I have my wet floor sign back?" They were like, "What?" I was like, No, I don't have another one.
Oh,
That means we can't mop tonight." I was like, "That'll be bad in the morning. We don't have another one." And we're like, "Oh," and handed us the sign back and then drove off. I was like, "What is going on?"
That's crazy. You want to hear something even crazier? That's where you cut it for the TikTok clip, and then you can just repost that, and then there's no part 2.
Ooh, That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah, and that actually is a perfect segue into our next song, because we actually don't have to pad for time this week, guys. We've hit our
No,
quota,
We've hit our quota.
so we can yap after the podcast.
Next song is Breakaway. I was waiting to be corrected. I gave it a 6 out of 10.
I gave this a 6.5.
I actually give the song 7 out of 10.
I gave this song a 6.
I hated the intro on this song. It's terrible.
This is not Breakaway. We already did Breakaway.
So sorry.
I was
I'm-
waiting to be corrected and nobody did it. Now
Okay,
I
'cause
realized.
Oh, before the fall.
Before the fall.
See, that's
I-
the thing. I knew where we were because I do numbers.
Oh, well, guess what?
Fuck you.
What's the song called?
10.
You gave it a 10?
No, that's the track
Damn,
list.
Logan. That's
Jesus.
crazy for
And
you.
I gave it an 8, but
I gave it a 6.5.
I gave it a 7.
Carson was not ready for the pivot.
I give it a 7.
I said my score for this song because we already did Breakaway.
So here's
This
the
is a
thing.
Breakaway.
We're on the second to last track.
This is
yeah?
before the fall, yeah.
It's called Before the Fall.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We already did Breakaway, so I gave my score to this.
This is the one where I heard some of the lyrics and had to like turn my brain off from hearing the rest of them. I was like, this song's gonna be really good if I don't pay any attention to these lyrics.
Hey, that's exactly how I listen to this song. I'm like, okay, it sounds the exact same. I'm just going to sit back and try and enjoy it. And guess what? I did. I was like, oh my God, when I'm not focusing on the music at all, when I'm doing something else, it works. It works in the background. As long as you aren't paying attention, it's fine. Is this an intense amount of copium that you shouldn't have to use for an album? Fuck yeah, it is. But hey.
I'm glad you put that last part in there because I was about to go off about how that's not the point of this show.
I was
Yeah,
saying, you mean you
it's
don't want to be a
so
vindictive
copium.
asshole once a week on the internet?
I'd like to at least praise the band for what they did good,
Listen.
but that's nothing this week, so it's hard.
If I'm gonna put an hour of my time into something, I better at least like one of the songs if I don't listen to the lyrics.
That is
and if
true.
I don't like one of the songs, I'm going to force myself to like one of the songs.
So,
That's what I did.
Okay, so did you quit listening because it's all biblical, or did you just say, "Oh, they're awful," and stop listening?
I said these lyrics are stupid, but I really like the track behind it, so I'm just gonna listen to
That's
that.
exactly what I did. I was
No,
like, these vocals are bad. At the very beginning of this, I said I have a problem with the vocals. I didn't really pay attention to them. I didn't really like them. I thought they were flat the whole time. But nope.
Carson's back in his expertise.
This is the song I was speaking about. The intro sucks on this song. It's fucking terrible. As far as like a hook goes, I listened to it and I was like, I don't want to listen to this anymore. And then I did listen to the rest of it, and it ripped. Like the background track went hard, and I was like, okay, now if you change the hook and maybe get a new vocalist, it's probably a pretty good song.
So that was what was really funny for this band about me. The band was really tight. Band for me, sorry. The band was really tight on this one, but everything was like super fake again. I was like, what is...
God.
A fucking stampede upstairs, bro. Jumanji.
That won't be a problem here soon.
Tiger.
Until I just walk upstairs in the middle of the live.
There won't be an upstairs.
We will be upstairs.
I think we established that there is an attic.
It doesn't go over that room though.
Damn it.
I can cut a hole.
Into what?
The ceiling.
Logan disappears into the ceiling chute to stomp around.
It's like, this is where Logan lives, and he pushes up the drywall.
He doesn't even know.
Oh, yeah, he does not know that we discussed. I was like, Connor, I'm just going to move in with you. We're just going to run fucking a studio out of our house. A constant recording.
It's a better idea than what my boss had.
Strip club in 1 bedroom. That's my ideal.
It's that GTA
1
5 house.
bedroom. He had me sleeping in the kitchen.
Yeah, you leave me in the kitchen. What the fuck?
I'll tell that one later.
So I literally saw a Reddit post this morning that was of someone whose downstairs neighbor had installed a stripper pole with carriage bolts, and it had gone through their floor. And literally the person up top was like, hey, I don't want to report my neighbor for installing a stripper pole, but these are really sharp. And I was like, what is going on?
What do you mean?
Dude, that's when you'd hear my ass taking an angle grinder to the end of each of those. I just put that shit flush with the floor. I'd be like, all right, if it falls out, it's on you.
So you drill it out. So just enough
Yeah.
so that they don't know and then they go to use it.
You cut them flat, you drill it out, and then it just breaks away.
But see, what you really do is you just take a hammer and you start beating them in while they're on it. Like, you can feel the floor wiggle. You start, like, dropping the screws out. Really fuck with them.
We got anything else?
No?
No, sorry.
That's our first bad segue of the night. I think we did pretty well. Voice
Man.
of Thunder, the fucking 11-minute song. 6.5.
6.5.
Oh, that was your answer. I thought you were just repeating what I said.
4.
7.5.
Hold on. Let me get my rant out of the way about songs above 6 minutes, because I'm horribly autistic and I can't listen to a song for more than 6 minutes. I'm sorry. Every single...
Yeah, I can't put that in the Monday, Wednesday reel.
I'm sorry. When a song goes over 6 minutes, my head don't like it. I feel like I've wasted too much time, especially with a track as bad as this.
He could have been watching brain rot videos in that time.
I really could have. I could have been, listening to my Reddit reading, Subway Surfers reels.
could have taken the brain rot quiz.
Yeah, I could have had my phone on a kickstand right in front of me while I'm playing video games on my computer, while I also have YouTube open, listening to the music. It's just how I prefer to live my life. And I'm sorry, I don't have the attention span for an 11-minute song. I hate them. I hate when a song is over 6 minutes. I feel like that is more than enough time to get out your artistic idea.
I just want you all to know how hard the brain rot has set in. If you go back approximately less than 1 year ago, I'd say it's 10 months, you will find a review from Metallica's And Justice for All.
Hey, I even
Which is like-
mentioned in one how I didn't like how long it was, but it gets a pass because it's one.
Yeah, every other song on that album is like 6 minutes long. You did not complain once. Now you get to like this, and you're like, yeah, 4 minutes was kind of long on these tracks, and then 11 minutes. That ain't.
Alright,
It's because
alright.
It's because what's playing,
That is
Logan.
so. That is so.
Oh my
very true.
god, this is the most boring, generic ass music you can get. I don't want to listen to this shit for 11 minutes.
Carl doesn't want to listen to Metallica ever, though.
I literally-
you
yeah,
would
I-
rather listen to this.
Yeah, I'm sure I've told this story on the podcast before. I actually took a 0 in college because he wanted us to review a Metallica album. And I emailed him. I'm like, hey, I just wanted you to know I'm not doing the assignment. I'm just refusing to listen to Metallica. And he was like, well, that's really unprofessional because what if a band that hires you sounds like Metallica and you won't do a good job for them? I was like, I'll just tell them to leave. He was like, what? And I was like, if they sound like Metallica, there's not an instance where I'd ever be willing to record them. And he just laughed at me, and I was like, what? Like, you do that? And he just laughed. And went on with his day. But that's literally how bad it is.
I mean, kind of valid.
I respect it. LimeWire shit happened. But I will say where this song got all 6.5 points, the entire guitar solo, all like 3.5 minutes of it, was what felt like the music to a video game trailer, where the trailer is infinitely better than the fucking game. Like that DC Universe Online. Have you ever seen the trailer for that?
Hey, I kind of like DC Universe.
Oh, I do
Online.
too, but have you seen the trailer for that?
I have not.
It's not the same fucking game.
Oh, I'm sure it's not. No.
It's like, I feel like a lot of these card-based games, like Midnight Suns.
Apparently that's good, but I never.
Midnight
played it.
Suns is pretty good, but the trailer makes it seem like it's fucking great.
Mhm.
And it's just like this guitar solo would fit right over like one of those. Perfect. Or like the World of Warcraft trailers. Have you ever watched those trailers?
Yeah.
They're like full cinematic movies, or Knights of the Old Republic too, where they're just cool. And it's just like the game is like this fucking shitty third person. You gotta click around, goddamn MOBAs and shit.
So are these like overture style pieces canon in power rock? Is that like does that make sense? Does that question make sense? Because you've corrected me now, and I'm like, you know what? I wonder if this is just a weird crossover thing. Because like in prog rock, this is like totally normal stuff to do this kind of thing where
Like
you
11 minutes.
well, yeah, but like where you have the big build up and the big long piece that's like this big huge symphonic overture thing.
So I feel like in power metal, you don't have the build up. You either have it or you don't have it, because power metal albums don't make sense. Like a Dragon Force album is a bunch of like just Dragon Force songs. It's not a Dragon Force album. So they just are like, if you listen to Through the Fire and Flames, it's like just a 9-minute fucking power song, and I'm pretty sure the build up to it is like a 6-minute power song. So it's, you just kind of have it, you just go. And this, I feel like they definitely fucked it on this one. This song should have been like track 5. Should have been in the middle.
They're usually the closers.
Yeah, I
Like-
was gonna say on this one, I feel like this has to be the closer. Even though as a actual album closer, the song before it would have worked better. This one, for what it is, has to be the end.
See, I would much rather a haul in the middle of the song, but that's just because I think the way I think of it is like once you get over the hump of 11 minutes, the after is easy. It was like when we
But-
did Allman Brothers, it was like 30 minutes, and then we had 2 more songs after.
But
Those
when
2
they
more
all-
songs were.
But when they all sound the same,
Yeah,
it
but
doesn't
this,
even matter. It's
See,
just
I
there's
think
extra
this-
10 minutes. You can't even listen to this as track list. It's just there's 58 minutes. Let's see how far we get into it.
I think this would have been good to cut it up, just because it is so much of the purely one thing. It would have made the subtle instances of other things stand out.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to discredit their musicianship. That sounds bad. I don't know that they are in the right songwriting setting for the genre they're playing in to achieve what they should, is the only way I can say that. Because they have musicianship. That's obvious. I mean, but they don't have the right kind for what they're playing at the time they're playing it. If they would have dropped this album 20 years ago, this would have been genre defining. This would have been the shit. It would have been like, oh, they were trying something new, they need to fix it. Now this is, we're 10 years into this sound, 10 years plus into this sound at this point. They didn't change anything, they just did it poorly.
So that's super funny because I wrote this one like I liked the length because I guess I'm just old. That's what's really funny. I was like,
Oh,
I
I
guess
like
I'm
the
just
length
old.
of this.
I'm young, so I got that brain rot.
Well, that's what I was like. This is a super common thing, and I was trying to think of bands that might fit this genre, but everything I can think of is prog rock or prog metal. So
It
I
really
never
is.
dipped into this.
Euro metal and power metal are so fucking touching tips, man. Like Rammstein and Sabaton are the obvious put right next to, and then when you go American, Dragon Force, and then that other band that sounds like Dragon Force that isn't Dragon Force. They
But
have
we
it
only know Dragon Force.
pretty much. Like, I don't like.
Thank
I
you,
don't
Guitar Hero.
actively listen and seek out this music. Is not my jam. For if I want to lift up my day, like a lot of power metal is supposed to be that like epic get up and get going. I'd rather listen to Hair. I'd rather listen to songs about sex, drugs, and rock and roll instead of like on the fiery fucking plains of hell. I batted a demon's head in, and
I grew wings, draw my sword, and cut off the demon's head.
yeah, and we played it in A major. Cool. Like,
So I do have to pause and give like the musicians credit in this album because I did not think any of it was sped up, like in Dragon Force. They all can play the parts. Some of the drums might have been replaced, and some of the stuff might have been doubled. There may have been some tricks done, but there's nothing that's cheating. There's no stuff that shouldn't be humanly possible going on. There may be some edits, but there's none of the stuff like in Dragon Force where he literally could not play the guitar parts at that speed, so they recorded at 2/3 the speed and sped them up in the solos. Like, if you know what to listen for, you can 100% hear it.
I've seen them do Through the Fire and Flames, like not in person live, but I watched the live video. They have to play tracks of the backing, because no one can play it that fucking fast. That's that clean, that solid. It's impossible. You're gonna get so much hum with that much gain, and it's. But these guys, yeah, I do think they could have used more digital amp on everything they were recording through, or more of the real amp on everything they recorded through. They kind of did a weird split of just the guitar was digital, the drums and bass maybe were programmed, and then the singer, I swear to God, it sounds like they plugged him into a crate amp and recorded that.
Dude, it's literally, that's the story of this whole album. The whole album, I listened and I was like, why did they spend the time to do that? I was literally like, what possessed you to spend so much time on something like this? I'm like, why does the reverb sound so good? There's too much of it, but like, could you have spent that time on maybe fixing the guitar EQ? I'm like, what? Like, the whole album was like that for me at points.
Let's get into this fucking pacing.
Get into the pacing. I gave the pacing a 5 out of 10.
I gave the pacing a 5 out of 10.
I also gave the pacing a 5 out of 10.
I give this one 8.
An 8?
Yeah, you're gonna like my answer.
Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
first, yeah.
I literally couldn't tell the difference in any of it, so I just zoned out all the way through. It was so level and so everything, except for the last track, but I didn't mind because I knew it was the ending.
But that's also why I rated it a 5, because they don't get bonus points for just making the same song 11 times.
I don't know. I thought it was a really good, everything kind of fell together overall. There was a couple spots where the key changes between the songs hit a little harder than I would have liked. But even with stuff in between, it was fine.
See, for me, it's mainly you have these standout tracks that sound different, that they put effort into, and then you have an 11-minute track at the end that fucking sucks, and everything else in between is just generic.
Oh, I did.
And it kind of just ruins it for me. Like, I can't give them points for pacing just for making it again.
I definitely did write down that, like, I'd rather have just the good tracks on an EP.
Yeah.
Like, that if they picked 3 or maybe 4, whatever it takes, if they picked that as an EP or maybe even an LP, cut this back half, I would rate this album so much higher.
Just drop one. Hey Carson, did you hear the click in the speakers between every song? Or did it flow better this time?
No, actually. Logan told me to turn that thing on my phone, and I didn't actually listen to it on my phone this time. So I had to audibly and very manually pause the YouTube video once it got to the ad. And
Okay.
because there's an ad at the end of every single one of their music videos. So pause it, go to the next track, click it.
What kind of evil YouTube you got that does an ad every song?
Mine cut most of these in half.
Like mid-roll ads?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's crazy.
On a
That's
fucking.
insane.
I got one on every video, but I didn't get mid-roll.
Carl, do you want to know what that means?
What?
That means that these guys are not registered as a YouTube like music creator.
Right, yeah. Although they're registered as something weird because it blocked me from putting it in picture-in-picture.
What? So they're probably kids, bro.
I don't know what's going on, but they had it set to where 2 or 3 of the tracks I couldn't put in picture-in-picture. Because that's what I usually do. I'll pop it up and then I'll do research on the band while I'm listening because I got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So it didn't work on 2 of the songs. I was like, so why? What's going on here?
That's fucked.
That's wild. I think I made it through 3 songs before I had an ad.
I listened on Apple Music, so I had 0 ads.
I wasn't kidding. I don't know if I got an ad like during this live last week or because I clicked into the live. But I got an ad before like it let me in.
Here's a fun fact about this.
Next time you put an ad on our video, YouTube, give us money.
YouTube, if you were doing good, I only know this because my old channel, it's at like 117 subs or some shit. Like it had traction at one point. It was going. Will throw ads on your videos to test pushing you, or at least this is how it used to work. This was back in like the pre-Susan Wojcicki being like super hated days, so fucking a while ago.
Well, she's gone now.
They would put ads, like short ads, skippable ads on your YouTube video that wouldn't gain you any money, but it would push it if people skipped the ad and watched your video for the next like 30 seconds. So it used to be a tester. Now it's probably a corporate greed thing. Free money.
Well, Carl has evil YouTube.
That is possible.
Wait, did anyone else see Evil Sean? Is Evil Sean a creation of my evil YouTube?
Oh no.
Wait, so did you do this were you listening on your computer or Oh, I was gonna say, because if it was the work one, I definitely broke that fucker when I was there.
Oh no, I've reset it like 6 times.
One day, Carl looks at me and goes, "Logan, put something on. I'm sick of listening to what I want to listen to." And so then I decide to put on all of And Justice for All as made by Mario N64 noises. So we listened to approximately the entire runtime of And Justice for All as made by Super Mario 64 noises. And Carl then banned me from picking the YouTube music for a couple weeks.
All right. Album art is next, I believe. I don't think there's actually a definitive lineup of how we do this. I gave the album art a 4 out of 10.
I gave the album art a 4 out of 10.
I give the album art a 5 out of 10.
I give this a 7.
Have you seen it big? Have you seen it zoomed in at all?
Have you seen it big?
Oh, is it
It's-
completely?
It was
It's
fine. For me, it was
bad.
fine, and then I saw it on my computer screen. I was like, oh, shit.
I had it as a 7 until I had it up
I
there.
had like a 6.5. I went and erased it real quick.
So it's
that is so
really
tragic.
detailed from really far away.
Mhm.
Like if you are looking at this on your phone, it looks really good.
There was one little detail that I thought was fun. They have the CD of their self-titled album within the pile of garbage.
junk.
That is this. I don't know why they chose to do that. It's on the left of the skull.
Yep.
That's a cool little thing, but the rest of it,
I will say the watch zoomed in did look good.
yeah.
The watch was a solid standout, does look good. The way I have described this is it's not made with AI, but you could have definitely made it with AI for probably way cheaper than they spent on it. Unless someone there in their band is like a graphic artist, which if it is, more power to you for being able to record an album then drop the album art in time to get it ready, because that shit's fucking a pain in the
Now,
ass.
I will say about this album art, when it comes to like thematics with the album, because this
Oh, it's
album
good, yeah.
had this weird thing where it was like, oh, the world ended, but we're the survivors. We'll pull through. And like it's the whole plant coming out of like
Yeah.
a nuclear waste garbage pile. Like that's pretty neat. I'll give them
The
props
only
there.
things that survive the apocalypse are that plant and their CD.
The only things that survive the apocalypse: that plant, the CD, cockroaches, Twinkies. That's
and
all.
them, because we saw them in that
Oh
video.
yeah, and them,
Yeah.
and a little girl.
Oh yeah, the
Yep,
little girl
yep.
survived.
That's wild, dude. They're all gonna have a fucking terrible time.
Logan, that's messed up.
That's fucked.
I'm just telling you.
Hey, we're on YouTube making content here. We can't be talking like that.
I didn't say it. All right, Carl.
You want me to what? Why I liked it?
Yeah, why'd you like it?
I don't know. I didn't zoom in on it, so I thought the album art just gave me everything that I needed to know about the album.
Yeah.
I might have a photo of it saved so I can zoom in for him.
I did almost
Let me pull it up
screenshot
on the laptop later.
Yeah, we'll look at
I'll
it.
do that. We'll get that done. We need to move into music overall. My music overall score was a 6 out of 10. Arguably, probably could have put it at a 5.5, but I'll keep it as a 6. There were a couple that I did like on this, and there were a couple that are probably going to make a playlist. I think if you're like driving somewhere or doing something, this is pretty good to have in the background. Not as an album, but I'm on the wrong fucking camera. I'll kill myself.
Damn.
Oh well. Some of these will make the playlist. Just, I'm not listening to this album as a whole again, probably.
Wait, I missed the first half. I missed the first half.
Shut the fuck up.
Yours was legit. You were muted. All right, I gave this a 5 out of 10. I can't bitch and moan anymore about how this isn't new. There's nothing visionary here. This isn't a new take on the genre. It's not a new take on their sound. I don't get it, dude. I don't get the point. Like, I understand when you're like, I have the itch to make an album. I'm going through that. Congrats. It's not an album I really ever see myself making another one of again unless this one does well. Like, like it's just fucking, if you want to make an album, just do whatever. Don't sound like yourself. Sound like someone else.
Oh, don't do that because the album book club will say things bad about you.
We will, unless, dude, I'm telling you, what's the fucking name of this band?
So the trick is to sound good. If you sound good, the album book club will not hate you.
That is true. Stratovarious. Have you guys tried ska?
Swap genres.
Give it a shot. Ice Nine Kills and Real Big Fish just hit it real hard with some ska metal. Fucking go for it. You guys can rip them off too. Give you the pass.
Might be better.
I doubt it.
No, I wasn't saying better than Ice Nine Kills. I just mean better than this.
I know.
Fair enough. I gave the album overall a 6 out of 10. I agree with both of you guys. It feels really generic, but there were a couple on there that I did actually enjoy. There were a couple on here that I would take off, put on a playlist, and then forget that they're there. Like, they would just be oh, cool, that's that one band every time they come on. It's never going to be a super hype moment, but, you know, if you like power metal, you could put this on in the background, listen to the whole thing, and be absolutely fine.
I don't know. I left my score when I dropped everything else as the album went on. I kind of decided early on this was going to be a 7, just because it brought me back to like the stuff I used to listen to. It brought me back to the older things that were what I was used to, which I guess at this point is old in the genre and probably makes it sound dated. But there was an exciting thing about the album as a whole. None of the tracks really stuck out. But as a whole, it reminded me enough of that, and it was nice to get something new since there hasn't been anything new like that in 20 years, you know, that at least that anyone showed me.
Guys, he's talking about times while we were still in the sax.
Dude, yeah, but some of that music fucks. Cake?
It does fuck.
Cake fucks.
Oh, God.
Well, so I was in like middle school when I was listening to this stuff. I wasn't that old.
He was
Oh,
He
okay.
going through
Let's
a
go
phase
ahead
that
and
we
do
had
some
with My
math. How
Chemical
many years
Romance.
ago were you in middle school? Was it more than 23 years?
So Logan and I are almost exactly 10 years apart.
Yeah, it's just scary.
Okay.
It's 3 days off.
It's hilarious, though. It's great. Although I know when I'm going to start to feel old to really feel for Carl. like when I'm like finally like, oh, everything's breaking down, I'm like, Carl's dead.
I got them city miles, boys.
All right, we've been going
Mileage?
like a grip.
Yeah,
Let's close
I think
out.
you close it out because you got next week.
Hell yeah, brothers. So next week we got kind of a little screwy week, maybe.
Next week is probably going to be weird.
I was gonna say, as of right now, I am currently the only one slated to be in that exact.
We got 2 hard maybes and I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
As of right now, I am the only one slated for next week's episode. Unless it changes, we are doing a priority week of Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter. I love my white girl music, and I wanted to bring in some fellow white girl music listeners and or haters for the content. So show up next week if you want to see me praise Sabrina Carpenter and some other people listen to it.
He couldn't bring me because he knew I'd give everything a 10 out of 10.
I was gonna say, why don't you just do it alone with no one else and see if anyone actually tends to enjoy it? But
I was gonna say it's gonna be hard not to put like espresso, like really
We
fucking high.
can't let it be just him because the Monday, Wednesday reel would be so funny if we get the actual lineup we want.
I think I could turn it into a comedy routine of me.
Everyone thinks they can do stand-up.
I'm pretty sure I could. If I had time to write for it, I got a week.
What if you got 30 minutes and you were driving during that 30 minutes?
I could do it.
You say that.
I'm not the legend. I'm better.
And he did drop one of the hardest lines in that I've ever heard. But
They're coming to get me. All right, y'all. See you next week.